Alright, this might be my last video of the night, but we'll find out. I got some cooking going on. We got Returning Home, level 84 story quest given to us by Y'shtola. We are in Mare Lamentorum to the pretty close northwest of Sinus. Sinus Lacrimarum. Sorry, I don't think I've been here before. Here we go. With the Loperates in Orlean's capable hands, we needn't worry about affairs here in our absence. Knowing now the face of their earthly collaborators, there is much to discuss with Alphino and the others. Let's return to the Tower of Babel. Our battle for the star will soon begin in earnest, and we must be prepared. They walk west-ish, and I follow. They went southwest. There's a ridge, though. Am I gonna meet them before the giant wall? I think I am, so. But, this is an area that's unfamiliar to me. We have sweepers, which look like blobs made of moon rock and moon dust. Exit to Nethergate. Is that where I'm going? I guess that's where I'm going. Speak with Thancred at the Nethergate. So, okay. There's a little crater in the moon, like a little by like 2, maybe 10 feet diameter. Exit to Nethergate. Let's go. And in this machinery, we find Thancred and Y'shtola. Gods, I can scarcely believe when we went to the moon and back. I can scarcely believe we went to the moon and back. But we'll have time to reflect on that later. Right now we need to head back to Camp Broken Glass and deliver a thoroughly detailed report to Lucia. I'd like very much to know how everyone is getting on here as well. They'd only just begun to treat the tempered prisoners when we left. I share your curiosity, but warning our allies of the final days is of greater importance. I speak not only of the contingent, of course. The heads of a state of every nation must know what we have learned. We know not when or where or in what manner in the final days will begin to manifest, and so we must see that everyone is prepared. Agreed, though we may wish to stress the importance of discretion, lest the public be sent into a panic. Not that anyone in a position of responsibility should need be told as much, but it bears repeating. Anyway, first things first, to Camp Broken Glass. And yes, this is definitely the last freaking video I'm making. I can't talk good, apparently. Can't talk good. We will exit to Garlemald via this. Exit to Garlemald. Weird, I know, right? I needn't have mounted because I will spend the 100 gil just to go directly to Camp Broken Glass. Straight south. Almost as straight south as one could probably get. But since I am mounted, I remain mounted, and I head northeast to Lucia. Yeah, Lucia and Maxima. And we'll see what happens here. Cutscene, remove this. There we go. Please talk, please talk. It's good to see you all again. No worse for your lunar adventure, I hope, says Lucia. In my horrible approximation of her accent, her voice. Thancred and Y'shtola walk up. We've done what we can for now, and believe me, we intend to tell you all about it. But before we do, might you tell us what's become of Garlemald in our absence? She nods. We succeeded in subduing the tempered inside the Tower of Babel. We took many alive, but combined with those who were already in our custody, the number requiring care has grown exponentially. The inclement conditions here have made it difficult, if not impossible, to treat them all here, and so we have petitioned the aid of the allied nations. Some are, understandably, hesitant to proffer assistance, particularly those that were but recently subject to imperial occupation. That said, several others have agreed to grant them refuge for treatment. I'm gonna stop doing accents, and I'm so sorry. With the assistance of your fellow scions, we endeavor to see them safely transported and subsequently cured of their tempering. This is Alban Lucia. Ystrola says, will all the tempered be relocated? Lucia shakes her head no. No, not all, no. We have sufficient shelter to attend to those whose treatment has begun, and enough healers have volunteered to remain until their patients have recovered. I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. I thought I was better able to do accents in this video, and I apologize. Not that a lot of people lean upon my ability to do accents properly, but I apologize nonetheless. Julius is one such patient, though he is not yet fit to receive visitors. Truth be told, it was a miracle he and those in his company were not harmed in the chaos. If not for Alphino and Alice's timely assistance, I dare say none of them would be with us today. All of that was Lucia. In light of recent developments, have the Ascian leaders come to any decisions regarding Golemald? Says Thancred. Lucia once again shakes her head no. Given the tremendous ramifications of what has happened here, it will take time to determine what must be done. In the meantime, they intend to work with the Eastern Alliance to keep a close watch over the provinces. We have other news to share. Shortly after Anima was defeated, we received reports that each and every tower has vanished. For a mercy, the process was apparently not quite as violent as what you experienced in Thavner. Those who were trapped within them have been rescued and are receiving treatment. To hasten this endeavor, the beast tribes have received instruction in the magics needed to cure tempering. That was all, Lucia. Master Matoya is no doubt thrilled to the mother Porxia affords her so many visitors, says Ystrola. Yes, we are grateful for her ongoing efforts, as well as those of our comrades near and far. As for the contingent, several of our members have been granted leave to return to their homelands after the transfer of Tempered has been completed. Was Lucia. Lucy and I will remain, along with a small force, to continue offering aid to those here in Garlemald, says Maxima. The Empire may be no more, but there are yet those who call these lands home. Lucia nods. I believe that accounts for recent events here. So what of the moon of the and the Telophoroi? And I go into an explanation. Gosh, this is painful. I'm so sorry. The cutscene pans up into darkness, and then pans back down to Lucia and Maxima thinking. Lucia, the final days. Gods, I prayed your victory would mark the end of our troubles. Ystrola, there is still much we do not know, but the Alliance leaders must be told. Would you be willing to contact them in our stead? Lucia nods. Yes, of course. I will send a word forthwith. We'll also release your fellow scions from their present duties, that they may return to Sharlayan. Your energies are better spent finding a means to avert the coming apocalypse. Speaking of your fellow scions, you will be happy to hear that Mistress Cryle, though still in the mend, has been removed to the Baldessian Annex and given into Tataru's care, says Maxima. Ystrola. Thank you. I look forward to seeing them both upon our return. Thancred says, let us be on our way then. One last thing, if I may, says Maxima. After your confrontation with Zodiac, you said Xenos took his leave, and in all likelihood he has returned here to Golemald. I have a mind to dispatch scouts to try and ascertain his whereabouts, but first wish to ask if you believe there is merit in doing so. My options are, if they found him, they would not likely live to tell the tale, or, if you're expecting a trail of devastation to follow, you won't find one, or, an admirable but futile endeavor. If they found him, they would not likely live to tell the tale, I say as I shake my head. I suppose you're right. To dispatch good soldiers in pursuit of such a beast would be to send them to their deaths, says Maxima. And pray forget I entertained the notion. While on the subject of Xenos, the 10th Legion has made an official proclamation. They denounce the Crown Prince and condemn his role in the Empire's downfall. His very title has become a source of shame among his former subjects, and its continued use serves only to hinder relations with foreign nations. For this reason, he has been declared as Xenos Viator Galbus, outcast and enemy of Garlemald. Y'shtola crosses her arms. Fandaniel is no more, and now his own people turn against him. It seems he's not but his bloodlust to keep him company. Maxima. Better that than an army to see it sated. At any rate, I will not keep you longer. I pray your safe passage back to Sharlayan. Y'shtola, Thancred, and myself turn and leave. Gosh, I did not expect to have such difficulties. I'm so sorry. That's a big cost. So how do I... Let's see if I just have to go... Sorry, let's do that. If all I have to do to get back to the Baldessian Annex, like, just... where I came from to get to here, is to use the locks. We'll find out. Ilsabard Contingent Flyer. Go back to the Alamegan Quarter. I thought that was not where I want it. I haven't been to any of those places. How the fuck? I could spend 1.3-ish thousand gil to go there, but that doesn't seem right, man. It seems like there should be a better way. Am I missing something? Okay, hold on. No, I'm not okay with this. So you get me back to the Alamegan Quarter. That's not where I want to go, though. For anybody else on this quest who is watching this and, like, in the future to understand where to go, was I supposed to set my home point somewhere specific? Old Sharlayan, I mean, that is where my home point is, I think, but I shouldn't have to do that. Like, this game has things like that that happen far too often. It should be very clear who you talk to go back to where you want to go. Lucia says nothing that helps us. Neither does Maxima. That's fucking great. Good job, game. Good job, game, making this, like, convoluted how to get back to where you want to be going. It's fucking stupid. I wish they made this I wish they made this more obvious. Like, talk to blank to get to where you want to go. Because this is dumb. This is dumb as fuck. I apologize for the language. I'm really fucking annoyed. I'm gonna take my teleport. Hopefully it works how I want it to Old Sharlayan. And I think that's where I want to go. But we're about to find out. Stupidly. Yeah, that's where I wanted to go. Stupid. I fucking hate this shit, dude. It sucks so bad to not have an actual... Like Final Fantasy 11 did this as well, but there were a lot of guides. I mean, I could theoretically go and find a guide, but whatever. We are in the Baldessian Annex. We have Kryl talking to Totaro. Gosh, I'm so sorry. Welcome back, Mercy. We were so terribly worried about you. Though it is plain I've caused my own fair share of worry, and for that I apologize. Heidelin called to me that day when you entered the Tower of Babel. Her pleas were faint but desperate, and I knew at once she required a vessel to carry out her will. What came after feels like a dream, barely remembered. My body flowing through the life stream toward Garlemald. When I regained consciousness, I was all aches and frostbite, exhausted of ether. So exhausted, in fact, I could only laugh, for it was in that moment I understood Raha's weariness from the Tower of Zot. Would that I could laugh at a time like this. Though we prevented Zodiac from being unleashed upon the world, I am curious to know what else took place there on the moon. And I described to her. Perhaps we should wait for the others to join us before you give your account. Let us reconvene in the main hall once they've arrived. Fuck, I'm so sorry. I hate this right now. I wish I had never started this. I'm so sorry. I just can't take it all back. So, here it is. I enter the main hall. We have a destination, and we will wait. Wait for your comrades to arrive. Yes. 3 seconds. 4 seconds tops. Cutscene. Remove my headshot. Please talk so I don't have to. Please. There's going to be so many of you. Please. Please. Fuck! Sorry. Alright, I'll do my best. I'm sorry. Sorry to have kept you waiting, says Alice. Not at all. We understand you've been quite busy, says Y'shtola. Kryl gives like a terse, like half nod to us. Will Urian J be joining us? I shake my head no. Duty keeps him away, I'm afraid, though Mercy can explain why better than I, says Thancred, who turns his head to me, and I explain. The cutscene pans up, goes black, pans. Oh, now we have an overhead view of all of us. The final days, as befell Amarat, says Alphino. Graha. And are we to escape via the moon? What of the source and its reflections? I've no intention of standing by while the world falls to ruin, says Estinian, so how do we stop this? Unfortunately, we have no answers at present, says Y'shtola. If the celestial currents have grown stagnant, as was the case in the time of Amarat, the solution would be to alter the flow of ether throughout the entirety of the star. The ancients accomplished this by summoning Zodiac, sacrificing half the star's population in the doing. But it should go without saying that such a sacrifice cannot be repeated. Which leaves us with the daunting task of identifying the underlying catalyst for the final days. A feat which even the Amaratines could not accomplish. Unfortunately, we found no clues in Mare Lamentorum. There is still much we do not know about the catastrophe itself, let alone what may have caused it. The final days were marked by the corruption of the Amaratines' creation magics, but we command no such power, which invites the question, what havoc is in store for us, says Alphino. If we knew that much, perhaps we could draw some parallel with the events of the past and thereby form some semblance of a plan. Perhaps we should start with a forum, then. Having worked with the Loporits in secret all this time, there's surely more they can tell us, says Y'shtola. The door opens, and Tataru runs in. Forgive the interruption, but I have urgent news. The forum is holding a public assembly in the plaza outside, some sort of announcement. What is father up to now, says Alice. There's only one way to find out, says Kryle. I nod and walk toward it while the screen pans up and blacks out. And we shift to another scene where we are walking up some stairs, all of us, as scions, Estinian included. I'm not sure he counts as a scion, but the scene that we see is a bunch of white-robed figures, kind of in a group, while a bunch of onlookers and citizens of Sharlayan kind of look on. If there's no voice acting, I'm going to be so annoyed, because there's a lot of people here. Come on. Come on, guys, please.
Order! Order, I say!
Like, it would be stupid not to have this. It was stupid not to have it earlier, but whatever. Okay, it's fine. Everybody quiets.
I thank you all for gathering here on such short notice.
You didn't want them to be here. Shut up.
This day we must speak of grave affairs and their implications for the future of Sharlayan. Nay, of this very star.
This man is called Barnier. B-E as in boy, A-R-N as in Nancy, I-E-R. Barnier? Barnier?
Said affairs concern all citizens, and so we have called for a public assembly.
Murmurs through the crowd.
You may have heard rumors of the Telophoroi, and the havoc these madmen wreak abroad. Under normal circumstances, we would pay little heed to petty disturbances outside our borders. The final days, however, are another matter altogether.
Duh.
For we dare not ignore these prophetic words of Eld.
By the way, let's say there are 10, 20, 30, like 40 to 50 of these white, like, all the same clothing, literally the same clothing, white robes. Some of them have head coverings that cover their face as well, like a cloth drape around their faces. Not all of them, but a good majority of them do have this head covering. Possibly just so that the graphic drawers, graphic people, whatever they're called, the people who draw this and or create it with a computer program, to the graphic designers, I think is the right term. Possibly just they didn't have to like create a bunch of different faces, but whatever, who knows.
The end bearers will come, ushering chaos and calamity. The final days descend and devour the very star.
I've never heard this prophecy.
Is it true? Will all that really happen?
Calm yourselves. The time has come to speak of the Forum's most sacred duties. But first...
He looks to one of the kind of head scarf
Give
people.
voice to the voiceless. Let bindings be unbound. By unanimous decree, I declare the enchantment broken.
She opens a book, and it has that in her palm, and has the other palm like finger spread open. Like actually the fingers are all together, except for the thumb. But she's hovering that thumb over the book, and a magical energy is emanating from that area. The book gives a pulse. It hits all of the white-robed figures who give off a little bit of a shimmer.
Master Leveilleur, if you would.
Says Barnier to Master Levelier.
Very well.
He takes several steps forward toward the crowd of onlookers. Citizens.
270 years ago, our forebears began an expedition in the Dravanian hinterlands, in search of a route to access the ethereal sea. This much is public knowledge. Their findings, however, would become the Forum's most closely guarded secret. What those researchers discovered in the hinterlands was not a passage unto the ethereal sea, but the very heart of our star, and Hydaelyn herself. She spoke to them of a calamity that would extinguish all life, and of a means by which we might be spared. The moon. 'Tis in truth a gargantuan vessel built to serve as sanctuary for her children and deliver them from this doom. Much like Nunkref's hope in ages past, it will bear the people of a world in the throes of death to a new home.
Needless to say, this will be no small undertaking. To facilitate the great work, the Forum has maintained close contact with the servants of Hydaelyn, who presently reside on the moon. Convinced that the foretold end was all but inevitable, we began amassing a wealth of knowledge, not merely for the betterment of our nation, but in preparation for the journey to come.
You reveal this to us now? By the gods, how long do we have?
While we cannot say with certainty, we believe the hour to be nigh. We received a transmission from the moon suggesting as much not long ago. Which is why we must in earnest begin preparations for the great Exodus.
Exodus.
For his impressive contributions and the leadership he demonstrated during our withdrawal from Dravania, we have elected Master Leveilleur to oversee this initiative.
The twins are shocked.
Fellow scribes and scholars, my countrymen,
Lend me your ears.
we face a threat of unprecedented scale.
Journey is Exodus, searching for euphoria.
We must challenge the trials before us with composure and conviction if we are to find salvation. The wisdom of Sharlayan has ever been a shining beacon in the darkness, and so it shall continue to be. It is our solemn charge to see our heritage preserved for future generations. For those who will come after, we will brave a new frontier.
I have to pee so bad. I'm hoping this ends soon. I had no indication this would be half an hour. I'm trying.
Administrative edicts will be relayed to all major institutions ere long. In the meantime, carry on with your duties. With that, I hereby call this assembly to a close.
Everybody begins to walk away, except for the white-robed. Oh, and now the white-robed people begin to walk in various directions. Some into the building behind them. The Scions stand, not knowing what to do right now, yet.
Do you remember what Mother told us when we visited home?
I gotta be right back, I'm so sorry. That was quick enough. I'm okay with that.
That it wasn't until after we were born that Father seemed to lose himself in his work. If that great work of his was the evacuation of this star, then...
Yes. It wasn't for his benefit. Would you mind waiting here a moment? I wish to speak with Father before we leave.
Give me a second. Give me a second. I really shouldn't have access to vodka. I went 2 days. Not that anybody really cares, unless you do. I don't know, but I went 2 days without vodka, and I had chai, like chai spice, which chai means tea. Well, I don't care. I had chai spice tea, when I got home from work, and then I had either a frozen margarita bag, which is like 10 ounces at 5% alcohol, followed by a Club Tales brand Sunny Margarita, but like 180 milliliters, which I believe is equivalent to about one drink, mixed with some like 50 milliliters of a strawberry lemonade. I can't remember what's the brand. It's that sparkling brand, whatever. That's that like really good flavors and no sugar. And then at the end of the night, when I wanted to go to sleep, I had my first introduction to like sleepy time tea, so chamomile, lavender, etc. I did 2 days of that, or roughly the equivalent of only 2 drinks each night. I didn't notice a greater ability to fall asleep or stay asleep for the night, you know? I didn't necessarily notice again, two nights is probably 2 days and 2 nights is probably not enough to really say anything like conclusively, but um I I only lasted 2 nights before it was Friday, and I'm like, okay, for the weekend I can do this, and then ended up buying more of various alcoholic mixed drink implements than I intended to, which is classic for me. And we'll see. We'll see how it pans out. I want to be better, but um, it is what it is for now. Anyway. Alright. Document that. And we are back to the game. My options are take your time or keep it civil, eh? Take your time.
Thank you. I shan't be long.
I think you mean we shan't, but...
If it's all the same to you, I have a few choice words to share with Father as well.
Okay, there we go. There's the we. He nods to her, and they both walk toward their father.
So, come to call us cowards and bid us join your fruitless battle against the inevitable.
Nay, we do not object to the Forum's proposal. On the contrary, those who wish to flee have every right to do so. Urianger is cooperating with your associates on the moon to ensure that all is ready should evacuation be our only recourse.
Then whatever your business, I suggest you be brief.
Fortunate.
Though we cannot boast the boundless wisdom of Sharlayan, we have first-hand knowledge of foreign cultures and have conversed with no small number of peoples. These experiences have taught us fundamental truths that cannot be recorded in any tome nor charted on any map. The beating heart of this planet is its people, many of whom would give anything, even their lives, to protect the lands they love. Many may choose to join you in the end. But what of those unwilling or unable, for whom escape will never be an option? What would you have them do? To ignore the plight of those one might conceivably save is not wisdom, Father. It is indolence. This is why we choose to fight.
We'll not ask for your understanding, Father. Only that you don't turn a blind eye to the good we have done. That we can still do.
To fight, to fight, to fight to the west. Wait, to the... No, to right.
We're not children in need of protection.
Sorry.
Hold fast to your principles and let the world burn if it please. But we believe there is still another way. And if there is, we will find it. You see if we don't.
To the right, to the left, we will fight.
Do as you will. Just stay out of our way.
To the death. Says 30 seconds to Mars. With the crazy Jared Leto leading the charge.
Were he not so consumed with self-righteousness, he might tell you how proud he is of you both.
Bold words call for bold action, and there'll be no turning to your father should plans go awry.
Estinian, in case you didn't know.
As if I ever would. So long as there are those who wish to stay and fight for this star, we have to do what we can to help them.
Graha smiles.
And if we're to do that, we'll need to be well rested.
Kryl smiles, and then Thancred.
Wouldn't you agree? Having triumphed over what we once thought to be the source of all evil, I can think of no one in greater need of at least a dozen winks.
Are you talking about Anima? Yeah, that was a fight for sure.
Shall we then? To the Annex, to prepare for tomorrow.
I think the group that I got into randomly, I think we failed once. I don't recall for sure though. I wouldn't be surprised if we did fail at least once. Cutscene ending. We go. I can't mount. Great. I love it. I love it when you're in a wide open space where you can't mount for stupid fucking reasons. Great job, game. Great job letting disallowing us the option to mount in a wide open space. Like, you should be able to mount in towns. There's no reason not to. None. We'll talk to Ojika Sunjika, who is the, I guess, proprietor, or like the one who manages comings and goings from this place. Krell tells me the Four made a rather momentous announcement, so there's to be a great exodus, is there? I'm reminded of my narrow escape from the Isle of Val, the realization, the running, the mixture of relief and regret after. Why me? I asked myself. Why me? Why us? Why now? Why wonder? There's no use fretting over the cosmic morality of or lack thereof. We're here, and we'll get through this together. And who knows? Maybe my luck will rub off and grant everyone a narrow escape. There's no harm in praying for as much. Oh, but enough of my rambling. I'm sure you're exhausted. Your chamber awaits. Retired to our chamber. Returning home is finally complete. I'm so sorry this took so long. We have an item level 533 Phrygian head gear coffer. which I can use on any of my classes, and a various possibly inconsequential, but 475,000 experience points probably isn't nothing. Here we go. We go from 3940. Oh, we have a cutscene. Sorry. Good thing I didn't end the video. The cutscene has some tables, like a study room, some chalkboards on the wall. I am looking at a full moon out a big old window. Get a little bit of headache. The moon kind of turns red. We see meteors falling from the sky. But that's not actually happening. A vision of what might come to pass. A visitor has come knocking at your door. Whoever could it be? Why am I guessing? What's the point of guessing? My guesses are Alphino, Alice, Thancred, Y'shtola, Grahatia, Estinian. Let's guess Y'shtola. It probably doesn't matter at all. It's gonna be none of those in my guess. It is Y'shtola though. Hold on. Wait, what?
You're still awake. Good.
I don't trust this. I could have got it wrong. And there's an entity like that gathered information from my brain about like who I expected to see.
Might I trouble you to stand still for a moment?
No, that's bad. No, can I say no, please? No.
Nothing appears out of the ordinary.
I cock my head at her.
A precautionary measure. You will recall that serving as a vessel for abundant light in the First very nearly ended poorly. In your recent battle on the moon, you were almost certainly exposed to similar, if not greater, forces. Fortunately, from what I can see, you and your ether are none the worse for wear.
Yeah, but you could still be entirely fake.
Would that Reen were here to confirm my assessment. To think you actually found yourself in a direct confrontation with Zodiac.
Like the camera is panning around Y'shtola and her body from numerous vantage points, and
as if Xenos gallivanting about in your body was not misfortune enough. Did you so grossly offend every single deity in a past life that they saw fit to place a curse upon your soul?
Is this, like, would this be the same for anybody I chose? Like, what's going on here?
Forgive me. That was in poor taste. I recall vividly how battered and broken it was in the depths of Amarot.
Y'shtola doesn't necessarily say things in poor taste. This is
would that you could have
weird.
seen it with your own eyes. Mayhap then you would understand why the greater part of me is glad you did not. It was a horror beyond description. Promise me you will be careful, that you will seek my counsel if you feel unwell.
This is fucking...
That puts my heart at ease, if only a touch.
Fandaniel.
I suspect it will grow colder as the night wears on.
It has to be.
So do be sure to stay warm.
This is coming from somebody who has never played any of these story quests through at all. Like, I'm well behind the current. I think that would be pretty obvious by now, but we'll find out. What if my... Oh gosh, we're in a cutscene. Sorry. I didn't remove this. Just in case.
Sleep well. May the shadows keep you.
No, Y'shtola would not give this weird bowing motion thing to me. That's not Y'shtola. Why would she do that? She wouldn't do that. Why would she bow to me? She has no reason to do that. Stupid. That's not Y'shtola. I could be wrong, but like that's not her mannerisms, you know? A short while earlier in the Alamegan Quarter, on a black screen by the way, and now we see the Alamegan Quarter. Various people walking around.
Thank the gods that tower is gone. The sight of it was enough to make me sick.
Says an Alamegan woman.
Thank the Ilsabar contingent, more like. Word is, they fought their way into Garlemald and toppled the bloody thing themselves. Not just the one, neither. All the towers have up and vanished.
Says an Alamegan merchant. Male, if that matters.
Aye, I heard the same. Commander Aldin and his troops helped keep casualties to a minimum, too. But is it true they brought back tempered Garlean soldiers?
As Commander Aldin tells it, they've a treatment for that now. But don't you worry. Cured or not, they've no plans to bring them into the city proper.
I see. Well, that's a relief then. I know we've brothers and sisters among the lot, but I can't say I'm eager to welcome them home.
Wanted to think about it for a while yet. They're to be looked after in Alagana for the time being.
There is... what's his name? The man we have kind of been defending and helping. He starts to roil with like gray, black, white, dark energy though, and the cutscene goes black. Meanwhile, in Ishgard, I see a very, very light snow falling upon these stone buildings and walkways and stairs and statues and such. Some people walking around in noble, like upright.
Another day, another commission of paramount importance.
Erenville, who is the darker skinned, bunny-eared man who was in charge of supplies here and there, is talking. This is a very long freaking quest, and I wish they had told me.
What have we here?
We're almost at 50 minutes at this point. It's stupid.
Hmm.
We're kind of like a zombie-like stumbling Elizin. Falls to the ground.
Hey,
Erenville.
Are you all right?
Rushes to him after he has fallen. There was a golem of sorts that was kind of like a pack mule golem. The Elizin gets to his feet and
Was that? No. The shadows play tricks, nothing more.
Continues to stumble, but we do see that like gray, white, dark gray kind of stuff emanate from him again. And Erenville saw that, but thought it was a trick of his eyes. And this Elizin man just continues to slowly stumble about.
The towers are gone, and the Garlean threat is abated. And yet, why does it feel as though it's about to get much, much worse?
He looks up to the snow lightly falling from the sky. The screen goes black. We see the world map. We hear like the sound of darkness. Okay, and darkness starts emanating from a place I don't know the name of. I'm not good at this map. I'm so sorry, but it's like the southeast portion of the map. The quest is done. I'm so sorry I could not give you the most information that would help you in understanding what just happened, because I don't understand what just happened. But I hope you enjoyed the video, and I will see you next time. I'm sorry.